Welcome, everyone. Let's get our energy up, fellas.
Yes.
It is really time to raise your water, your coffee. Like I said, if you start with your hard liquor, no judgment here. We want you to do something different. That's not healthy. But we do understand everybody's on a journey, right? As we raise our glasses of whatever, just think, we all fall, but we say don't trip. We've all been called, but all stall a bit. We all stand tall until that time we slip. And just admit, without the grace of God, I'm really bad at this.
Yes. Salute.
Trying to get better and better. Fellas, how y'all been?
Oh, fantastic. On my end, been doing great.
Yeah, feeling good, man.
Really?
Feeling good, living the dream, baby.
Do anything interesting since the last time we seen each other? Anything? Go to the laundromat? Whatever. We some regular dudes, man. Come on.
Yeah, wifey just got back in town recently, so for a trip from Cabo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stepped out this
weekend. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Cabo?
Yeah, Cabo. She was in Cabo, bro.
Without you?
Yeah, we kind of made arrangements. I was supposed to be there, but then new job.
Got you.
New bills. So you know how that go.
Got you.
New job, old bills.
And what you say, that don't mean you don't have to go.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you don't still.
No, she deserved it. She needed to go and rest, bro.
That's dope.
Get away from me and the kids for a little bit.
That's dope.
Even though she wanted us there. I understand.
That's dope. I think that's dope.
Life is life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you encourage your wives to get out and like hang out with their girls?
Heck yeah. I know people be hating on that. Some dudes be like, and I the first thing I think when a dude be like, man, I don't know. I'd be like, one, either something horrible has already happened. All right, that's one. Let's keep it 1,000.
Got to keep her in sight.
All right, you're right. Or it's somebody don't trust them, and it's usually the dude. It's usually commonly the dude did something to find himself not trustworthy. Yeah, and so every time he's
worried about the get
back. Exactly. So every time it's that. So we don't know which one it is, but it's usually commonly it's those.
It's one other person though.
What?
It's the person who don't have no friends himself, and he don't understand why you still have friends. We married now. Why would you need anybody else in your life but me? The two are one.
That's scary.
That person is scary to me.
Scary. That's the person you do not go to the cabin with. Like in the woods, like that's a no woods attitude for you.
They ready to snap at any moment.
I'm not going nowhere remote with you,
yeah,
bro.
Nah, he on some like Dexter vibes. You know what I'm saying? It's a straight Dexter vibe.
No, that person. Hey, keep your eye on that person. It's that person is around. I see that person when I'm traveling through different circles. That person who's like, you start talking about all the stuff y'all been doing. Oh yeah, me and wifey went to the steakhouse. Me and wifey caught a sunset off the beach, and they just sitting there silent. Me and wifey ain't did nothing in 6 years.
Dude, I be picking up on that.
Right?
It's been a minute, but boy, when those moments happen, you be like, whoa. Might be trouble at home.
Speaking of steakhouse, wifey treated me, birthday weekend on Saturday. We went to this new spot.
Okay.
Well, new to me. She been there before with her sisters. But it was what is it? Mr. V's, I want to say Mr. V's.
Yeah.
Yeah, over in La Mirada.
That sounds very familiar.
Oh man, it was dope.
Yeah.
Live singing. Dude, man, this dude is dope. Named Fernando. Dude sung.
Yeah.
Played the flute.
Yeah.
Played the sax. Like all in one song.
One man band?
One man band.
Getting it.
Yeah, hey, he was
hard.
dope.
Now,
Food was delicious too.
Wait, what you order? I got to live through you on some of this beef stuff.
Just on that, wifey had some aromatic shrimps, and I had some aromatic shrimp. Yeah, it was fire.
Yeah.
I had the fish and chips. I was,
I love that.
Trying to still watch my figure for the summer a little bit.
Right.
I'm trying to get ready for summer 2025.
Beach body, let's go. Summer 2025 though. Y'all heard that?
Yeah.
It's gonna take him a minute.
It's gonna take me a little minute. You know what I'm saying?
That nigga said he's watching his weight with fish and chips.
Oh yeah. Hey, it was real fish. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
It wasn't none of that Bill Gates fish, but
you know what? I am not up on that. Y'all need to put me up on that. What has he been?
The Bill Gates fish.
Yeah, what is he doing? What is the
meats.
rumor? I mean,
Fake meats.
I know he's been making his plan. I was hearing. I didn't know if it was real or nothing, but his plan was to create.
Oh yeah, he's already started.
And he
laboratory chicken. Buying up the farmland so nobody can expand.
So this is where two people can be in the same room and hear two very different conversations.
No, but this is my thought on that, and I still believe it, and I could be wrong in the future. Maybe they'll turn the corner, and they know it's going to turn the corner. Is because Kevin Hart has this whole restaurant, fast food restaurant, right down the street from the LAX, In-N-Out, which is all fake meat,
but it's vegan.
Vegan.
Yeah. No, right. Bill Gates not doing vegan. Bill Gates is taking stem cells from a chicken and creating chicken in a laboratory.
Now you
put it in some kind of cylinder machine and producing meat.
This is lab meat.
This is lab meat. It's
not vegan mushrooms made into stuff like when we went to my boy's spot, Planet Compton. This ain't just vegan mushroom nachos.
Okay, all right.
No,
two different worlds.
But here's to that point though. Even with that, because I'm gonna lump them all together: the fake meat and that, because that stuff is kind of made in a similar way in a petri dish too. Some of that stuff's not just, oh, we took some vegetables and we grounded it up. No, you wish that's how it was, but no, some of that stuff it's a lot of processed stuff too, which is said to, whatever processed food, if you eat a lot of it consistently, it's not good for you, no matter what it is, right? All right, so that's that. But I don't think it's popular. My point I'm trying to go to is, I don't think it's going to ever take off. Not in my generation. But they preparing for it.
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not going to be popular. But I think Bill Gates' plan is to make us have to eat it, because he's buying farmland, bro. He's buying the farmland. Like, no, y'all cows can't cross over to this. I own this 100 acres over here. Y'all animals are going to die. Just like somebody killed all those chickens a couple weeks ago, millions of chickens. So it's not going to happen, bro.
Where they kill the chickens at?
They killed the chickens, bro. You ain't see the headline?
I missed that. Watch. I don't be on the dark web like you, so I don't catch half of these.
We about to hit a dozen of eggs about to be like $18 for a dozen of eggs. Watch, we gonna hit that. Yeah, nah.
So every time your boy try to do something, it sound like he trying to do something good. Gates and his boys be sounding like they're trying to do something good, but if you read it a certain way, he sound like a comic book villain. So you gotta watch it. Like, he be helping with the vaccines, but then there's 2 or 3 villages that he just
wiped out,
massacred trying to get this vaccine to work. And man,
I'm not with it.
He's already banned over in Europe. They already said, you're not bringing that over here. They already made the law. Said this is against the law to bring fake meat over.
The lab meat?
Yes.
Lab
check
meat.
Italy out.
Dude, that can't end well, bro. I don't care what you say.
He's trying to solve hunger. That's what the story's gonna be. Trying to solve world hunger.
Can I say something right now?
Wait, can I check in? No. He's trying to solve world hunger, but he's masking world hunger with his ideology of there's too many people on earth.
Okay, so let's bring it in. I want everybody to bring it in. I'm glad. That's a good second. Bring it in. Let me tell you a little big secret. God has already solved the hunger problem. Here's the issue. We have a greed problem.
We're very greedy.
We have to fix our greed problem, and then all kind of people will be eating.
It don't seem like there's no shortage of food. It seems like there's a shortage of shipments to the people that need the food. That's the problem.
There's no shortage of food. Just like you and I see pigeons in the sky, cows is popping up. We can't imagine that, but they do. They pop up just as much as you see pigeons around. There's cows around.
Bookie said they didn't kill the whole group of chickens just so we can't have them.
Dude, you can't. We would have to have some kind of like pandemic type thing to really slow down chickens. Because if you can't, this used to happen a lot. If your avocados could come from Pakistan, imagine where our chicken and stuff really come. You thinking everything is local, and some stuff is, but everything ain't local,
right?
Especially that frozen stuff. But anyway, I digress. My only point is that I just don't think that the fake stuff in my time is going to take off, but it obviously looks like things are being set up to promote fake meat. fake vegan.
I be wanting to think the best. I be wanting to think the best, man. But this one ain't looking good. This one don't look good, Bookie. I gotta give you that. This one don't look good, man.
But thinking about or talking about not looking good right about now in this moment, who would have thought that Drake would not be looking as good? Because we still glowing from the whole Kdot Juneteenth situation. Matter of fact, let me run that. How people were talking. That's for real. That's for real. This is.
Why did I choose to celebrate Juneteenth with Kendrick and fans?
Why not spend it with Kendrick?
Bro, we black. He's a proud black man. Everything he do is for the culture.
Culture.
For the culture.
The culture.
The culture.
Cultural moment within LA.
Him being unapologetically black because I'm a part of the culture. It felt like I was obligated.
You know, sharing the culture.
It's only right we come out and support and show love the same way because we for the culture.
Black American folks need to be celebrated and respected for what they contribute to music, culture, all of it.
Fully black excellence. I don't know if y'all heard like To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City,
That
Section
part.
80, Overly Dedicated, C4.
He embodies black excellence.
Black excellence.
Black excellence.
Now I feel like I'm a part of history.
It's like a history moment.
Had to pop out and show people.
There's nobody better to celebrate
That's
it
what
with
it was.
than Ken.
He put out a clarion call.
He made the call.
He's always spoken about black people and black pride.
Him being a successful black man embodies Juneteenth.
Kendrick is the essence of Juneteenth, which is freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom to do what you want to do, freedom to do what you have to do.
Lifts you up, inspires you. I think that's exactly what our ancestors would have wanted at this point in time.
His songs say they not like us. We special. We a special people.
To have a show on Juneteenth, that song being more or less a song of the summer, right? Like, they not like us. People gonna be here on Juneteenth. Black folk gonna be here on Juneteenth saying they not like us.
Man, that little
exclaiming
t-shirt
that
did the show.
people can't just be coming in here, dipping
Not
in
a good
and
look
taking
for
from the
Drake.
culture. I feel like that might be a really, really good way to celebrate today.
Everything that she said.
And I can't wait to tell my kids, wop.
Look around. It's full of communities, full of love.
He speaks for black people. We're not a monolith, but as a people, we are one.
Kendrick Lamar's music allows you to feel.
Just
what it means
imagine
to
you
be
got
black.
this
It's
and
heavy,
then
it's painful,
everybody
it's happy,
in the
it's
whole
sad,
world,
but more than
it felt
anything,
like
it's
everybody in
authentic and
America
truthful, and that's
where
what
you not
Juneteenth
from
is about.
really.
Don't nobody do it better.
Oh, he
Had
does
a
it for
barbecue.
everyone, man. Not just for
Was
us.
happy
For
about
everyone.
it.
That's why they not
I'm like,
us.
that gotta
They not
feel
like us.
weird.
They had a barbecue at your
Juneteenth, bro.
at your repast. That's what that was. That was the
That's
repast.
what I'm saying, James.
That man dead, man. Shout out Team Light Skin, man. Steph Curry, y'all, come on, man. I need some help out here. Y'all get it back going. Team Light Skin, we got to get back right. We gonna take this L for a minute. We gonna disappear like R. Kelly, but we gonna be back.
That concert was wild. I was looking at a replay. That concert was wow.
But that concert was bigger than Drake, though. It was bigger
Man,
than
please.
Beats.
Absolutely.
It was definitely bigger than Beats. And I mean, if you from LA, you'll understand.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you had the whole no, I'm sorry, God. I didn't mean to say that. That's some old gang making stuff that people say.
Lord have mercy.
You had the whole card on there.
Uh-huh.
You had the A-Trays, the Body Hunters,
Uh-huh.
the Bloods, the Pyrus, everybody.
Yeah.
Tommy the Clown. You had everybody that represent LA on that stage.
Yeah.
No violence, all love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was an amazing night.
That was a moment. That was a moment. And I don't know, James. You say Team Light Skin, you got to take a break?
Yeah, we down. Team Light Skin is down. We'll be back. We'll be all right. We always got Chris Brown and a couple other people to hold us down, but I don't know.
That's all right.
But this is a big L we got to take right now. What was interesting is the way that they were describing that as the culture. The culture. That's part of what I want to talk about. Like, is it one culture? Like one guy kind of clarified, like we're not a monolith. Black people in general are not a monolith.
Yeah.
But there is a unity there. Mm-hmm. I just wonder, is it how do you say? Is it really one culture? Are we describing one culture? Because I think there's a lot of aspects of this that none of us would celebrate if our kids was doing it. There's a whole lot of stuff that we would celebrate, like black excellence. I think that's why we lift up people like Kendrick, because it's like, man, you can see his giftedness. You can see what he's working hard to be good at his craft. He's at the top of his field, and we all celebrate that when somebody's at the top of their field. But that word that they kept using over and over again kind of rubbed me wrong, like the culture. Like, are we really one culture? Because there's a lot of stuff you don't want your kids to consider black.
I mean, a lot of people would have a problem with the gang culture. Explain that, Bookie. Why is that something that you felt that was dope, but people be like, "That's gangbanging, Boogie. That doesn't make sense. How could that be cool? What do you mean?"
Well,
cool?
There's no nothing cool about gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? But I think because we're in LA, it's a different way of life than most places.
Gang culture is most definitely different.
Yeah,
I have to agree, and I grew up in it here in South Central. So trust me, I understand what you mean, and it is deeply family-like to a lot of people, and it's just different, and it's everywhere.
Yeah,
it's like it's hoods like everywhere,
and these people literally hate each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, really do.
And this hate runs deep to the 70s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when you see these people get on stage together, throw all that aside, and just celebrate their culture, you know what I'm saying, as far as the hip hop culture is what I'm thinking that they're talking about. The hip hop culture.
Yeah, when they say the culture, they don't say hip hop no more.
Yeah.
That's how I interpret it too.
But I think that's what James was getting into because it's different.
It's because they said black culture a few times.
Yeah,
they said black culture a few times.
They said
it is wrapped into it because you got to understand, if you want to get to the root of it, people would argue that hip hop culture or the culture is rooted in black and brown culture.
Yeah. See, rap is not the culture. Rap is a part of the culture.
Exactly.
And I think that's where people get it wrong.
Yeah, I think we got to fix which one is which. Black people didn't start with hip hop culture.
No, they didn't.
So that can't be all we about.
No, but they're just saying that's a part of it. But we are saying that black people, it's like our culture, just like someone else's culture has their music. It's kind of like we're saying that. We're saying American black culture, a part of it. You want to hear salsa, that comes from a particular culture.
Right.
When you hear hip hop, that's you hearing us. So that's fair. That's a fair statement.
It's fair.
You can't. So I get it, but it's but you just smashing stuff together. That's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like.
There's some aspects there that it's they don't, that's not us.
But it's culture is dress and music.
And music. That's what I'm saying.
And art, and
Yeah, all that is
it's
dope.
all of that. So
All
if
that
you
is dope.
said what are black people, who are these kind of different type of people who have kind of disconnected from their original culture, and here they are because of slavery or what have you, and here they are and created all these different art forms. People would argue country, people would argue jazz, of course.
Yeah.
These are things that come out of black culture. And if people said any of that, no one would argue, I don't think, in 2024, no. If we tried to own that as a part of black culture, because a lot of these art forms were birthed right here under horrible conditions. Unfortunately, we seem to make great music under horrible conditions. That's why that thing we was talking about when we were talking about that, do black people, who was saying that, do black Christians make better music or something? And I'm like, in America,
one of the kids asked at one of our events, why do black people go harder in their music? Is that because they go harder for Jesus? And you was like, nah. What'd you say?
Nah, we just had some difficult time. We had harder times than a lot of people here. So that music gonna hit different. You gonna feel it. Dude, for real. I went to the African dude. Everybody should do that, dude. If you ever go to Nashville, go to that. It's not. I'm not doing it justice, but it's essentially the African American Music Museum, and they just got
in Nashville though.
In Nashville, bro.
Ooh.
You'll be, man. That thing is so dope. And if they offer you because you usually be like, nah, I ain't no tourist, but they be like, here, you get this little trinket. It's a audio trinket. It's an extra cost. Get it.
It's country music. This one's focused on the country music contribution.
Everything.
Oh, regular?
Dude, you would laugh because both of y'all would laugh, but they got this whole exhibit with your boy, what's his name?
Somebody from Memphis, I imagine.
No. His name just slipped me. Gospel Twinkle Toes. What's his name?
James Cleveland?
Nah. After that. The one who had the show on BET. What's his name? What's his name? Come on, y'all.
Dude from BET.
What's his name?
Who? Who are you talking about?
Gospel show on BET.
A gospel show on BET.
The music gospel show. The dude, he's classic. What's his name, bro?
I know Al Green from Memphis. You ain't talking about him.
He ain't talking from Memphis.
They got a whole exhibit.
Well, he in Tennessee.
You could be in the choir with him. That's why I'm trying to. Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones. There you go.
I forgot about him.
Bobby Jones gospel.
Man, I forgot about him.
Like that.
They have a whole thing where it's like, come on and sing with us. You could put a robe on, right? And it records you. You could, and then they project you up in there with them, dude. It's so sweet. It's like dope. But you be up there and Bobby Jones be directing the choir, and it's hilarious. But they do everything. They got a dope hip hop section. They're showing the history of that, and they got clothes from people and all kind of stuff. It is dope.
That's dope. I would think it would just be the country music contribution of black folks, but you talking about it's all black music.
It's all music. It's all music. So the reason that came up is just it just reminded me of just our contribution to when you say black music. It's like which one you talking about? Because hip hop is included, but I'm with you. It ain't the only expression.
Yeah, I just want to hear more about, and I'm probably not the one to speak on this too much because I'm just not
we got
as in depth in the culture as I probably should be. But I mean, like,
enjoy it. We have the remote control right now. Our Generation X.
Yeah.
Meaning, back in the days, whoever had the remote control had control of the TV. What we really looking at. Well, we the ones working at the station.
Right.
We behind the cameras. We, like Jimmy Fallon and them.
Yeah.
Like we still, but we getting old though.
I want to talk about the way we pushing ourselves into some of the stuff that's a little bit more destructive than we want to admit. Some of the stuff that we celebrating as black culture is really destructive.
Well,
I love the black excellence part. Like, for real, I love the black excellence part.
But I was cringing when I was hearing everybody saying, now I want to gangbang. And see, I know that rush. See, they joking, but I know that. And it is going to turn some people. It's going to turn some very impressionable young people into going into that lifestyle because everybody's like, whoa, that's so dope. And they see him up there, they see his rag, they see him dancing, whatever. And it's a hard thing to look at because I'm hearing you, Buki, and I understand that. These dudes don't get along. So typically they fighting in it, and we get it. And there's all kind of violence going on usually between them. But here they are, for whatever reason, which is Kendrick and, this moment, they able to stop this. So we like, oh, that's dope. But at the same time, it's like you got a whole bunch of people who want to start I heard people literally saying that. Like, all this West Coast, it got me walking, and man, I want to...
See walking and all that?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like, and I'm with you. That's what I'm just saying. I hear you, James. You be like, yeah, but we quick to be like, that's it's just part of the culture, though. You're like, man.
Yeah, you know what? Because I've heard that. Because I even talked to
it's hard to swallow.
My nephews, my son, and because they were saying "cuz," and I'm like, "What'd you just say?" And then somebody explained to me, oh, that's just a part of the culture. Everybody says it. And I'm like, oh, no, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
We don't just do that. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still living by 80 rules. You know what I'm saying? I'm still living by 80 rules. 1980s. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You still don't wear a Philly hat everywhere.
Yeah.
You still don't wear that New York Yankee hat everywhere. And you definitely, this is not the Bay Area, so we not blooding. And you definitely not saying cuz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like you said, the people have taken it and made it a cultural thing.
Yeah.
But there's people that's still living out here that they don't care about that. It ain't a cultural thing. That's like, oh, where you from? You know what I'm saying?
That's all they gonna ask.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then you gonna be like, oh, I'm from out of town. And I'm like, oh, it could get bad.
It get real bad. Bad real fast.
Real bad. So it's like, So yeah. So a lot comes with the culture. But speaking of culture, this is kind of a thing. You were talking about old girl who was coming off crunchy to some people.
On the Breakfast Club, huh?
Yeah. Maybe,
Tyler.
Maybe denying her culture. And you was feeling that was kind of like opposite of what some of these people were talking about, just like in that video. Like, she may not be fully celebrated, but I didn't really get it.
Well, it goes with the pop-off. It goes with the pop-out because part of this whole beef was Kendrick exposing Drake is like, yeah, you're not really part of this culture. You just really been capitalizing opportunists. He been saying Drake is opportunist for 10 years. Like, you're not really a part of this. And then when it got real ugly, Your man started calling him white boy. I think that was one of the dudes.
Ross was doing.
Ross started calling him white boy. That's where it took a turn for me. It was like, oh,
yeah.
I remember when people used to do that to me, and I remember what they was trying to do. So for those who don't know, I'm not fully black. My mom's from St. Louis, but my dad's from Spain.
Yeah.
And if you look at me, you'll see like, oh, he definitely not just black. If he's black at all, you could tell I'm not white, but you like he's something.
Yeah.
He's something besides regular black. So yeah, so that's fine. So I'm cool with all of that. I love who I am and all that. But I remember there were some moments when people wanted to get a good dig in at me, like they would call me white boy, like as if to make it clear, like you not really black.
Yeah.
So make sure you don't forget, like you with us, but you not really like us. So sometimes I can hear it a little bit differently.
And you like, but my last name is Iglesias.
My last name is Iglesias, so yeah, of course.
Why you figured out I'm Mexican though?
I thought he was albino this whole time.
We didn't know.
And I've been knowing him for 30 years.
He'll hide a lot from you. Remember, you didn't even know he had a dog.
You didn't know he had a dog.
He had a whole dog.
He didn't think I had a family when we started talking. He didn't know where I was from or nothing.
He's like, my daddy. I was like, you had a daddy?
I had a brother. He's like, you had a brother?
Like where?
Where is that?
Where are they at?
He think I just spawned somewhere and just became a part of their life. But no, I think it's a real thing. And there's a lot of people like the Tylers of the world who are mixed are going to have this tension between like, no, I love my black culture.
Was this what she said on there, or what is that?
No, she wouldn't say nothing. Her PR people told Charlamagne, hey, cut that question. We not getting into that. Because she's from South Africa.
I didn't understand that. Yeah,
so she's from South Africa. They're asking her about her blackness, and she's trying to say, I don't want to have that conversation.
My bad.
So Tyler addresses her colored identity. Yesterday we had an interview with South African superstar Tyler. During the interview, Charlamagne asked a question that her team didn't allow her to answer. We have the audio from that.
School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, the PR lady said,
I like when they talk from the back.
So what you think?
Yeah, the PR lady was like, we're not having no colorism conversation right now. This girl just starting to pop off. She got 2 hit singles. She cute. She popping. She's about to be next if she gets pushed correctly. And the PR people is like, stop that, Charlamagne. Like, don't start no foolishness where she got to explain her blackness. She from South Africa. And I think I wanted to ask the question, like, for me, when people say African American, I always used to laugh with my mom. Like, we're not from Africa. African Americans we're not African Americans is what I'm trying to say. We all might be from Africa, but we're not African Americans. African Americans in my mind got on a plane and came here on their own.
Yeah.
We're black. We're black Americans. I always like to hear that version of it. Like, nah, we black Americans.
Yeah.
Because we built this joint. We built this country. We got brought over here, and there's no other category for what we are. We're all definitely African.
Yeah.
So everybody, from different states, different countries can say, like, yeah, we all got that African descent, but something specific happened to the Africans that are here. And I like to celebrate that. Like when we talk about Juneteenth, I like to celebrate. We're black. We came here, we kidnapped.
Yeah.
Forced to do labor for free, and then eventually, through God's help, we here where we are now. I think that's black. And she probably was just trying to make a distinction to say, like, I want to honor that. I don't know if Tyler's doing that, but I think she was saying, no, I want to honor what what blackness is. That's something that Americans are dealing with. And she's like, I'm from South Africa. But she wasn't trying to deny nothing.
So I
think she's just trying to honor, like, no, what black is something specifically happened to a group of Africans that were kidnapped. I'm from South Africa. I know my address is what I think Tyler was trying to say. But, Charlamagne liked to make something.
I just think with her issue now with this, and it's coming clear to me now, with her issue and with Drake's issue, it's just not the time for black people who are from outside of America to be in America right now talking about anything black. Just don't, because the thing that really catapulted Kdot to just messing with Tupac, saying the little stuff about Tupac, that didn't work. But that whole comment about you rapping like you trying to free the slaves. You can't now. If you from America, you can say that. But when you are really kind of technically, you're not from here. Okay, your people are from here, but you grew up somewhere totally different and had to, move totally different. And you saying it, I think that just fueled it. But anyway,
I think, and then
calm down.
He kind of like tried to pull the card with Kdot. Like, you ain't really from the hood. You ain't really like that.
Oh, that really.
And so
messed
that's why
up.
he brought out all his homies from his hood. So yeah, no, I'm really like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gang banging, but
I
this
can
is where
call
I'm
some
from.
favors. I can call some favors.
Exactly.
I got some favors off in comments. I heard that line.
Yeah.
I know what that means, brother. People out
That's
here.
what made all them red flags come out.
I know.
Yeah.
And
You had to go stand next to somebody in Houston is what Kdot was saying about Drake. You had to go stand next to somebody in Atlanta. You have to go stand next to somebody in New York. I don't have to do that.
All I had to do was grow up.
Yeah.
Just where I was.
I don't have to do none of
It is
that.
what it is.
Yeah.
So call me whatever.
But I think it's an interesting thing. Like, I really want to have the conversation about, like, I don't have to subscribe to everything that is supposedly considered black. And I think for the mixed dude, for the person who's multiracial, whatever, trying to find a way to fit in. I remember having those crossroads with different people who was like, "Are you gonna be with us, or are you gonna be over there?" And I was like, "Fam, I'm not finna just compromise who I am just for y'all to accept me a different way. I'm not doing that. So if you need me to be a criminal in order for me to be black, like, where did you get that from? Like, why does that have to be? Why do I have to prove my blackness with criminal and ignorant behavior? I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
And a lot of the black people that I love and respect, that also love and respect me, they never asked me to do that. But there was a whole section of people who are like, "You're not black enough."
Yeah.
And what they meant was, you don't celebrate the criminal side of our culture enough. And I was like, no, and I'm not going to.
Why?
I'm not going to, because I'm like, why would I?
Why?
But there was a group of people that would call me white boy or whatever once I made those. I'm talking about teenager years when you're trying to fit in. I'm like, I'm not finna do that, man. We're
But
not doing
hood
that.
culture isn't black culture.
Let's say that. That's what I'm trying to get at. Let's say
That's
that.
my thing. Like, hood culture is not black culture. Just because you see it on the movies and listening to it on the radio and all that, like, no, not all of us live that life.
But here's the thing, and I think this is a challenge. I remember this happened. I was just at Lighthouse, aka Bible study, and speaking with an elder, and they were tripping off of how on Juneteenth, one of the cable stations, not movie stations, but cable stations, was celebrating Juneteenth by playing something like Car Wash and something else he mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And he felt some kind of way about that. Like, that culture is not black. It was Superfly.
Black exploitation.
So black, but it's supposed to be celebrating Juneteenth. And he's trying to be like, how is that, But I'm like, here's the thing, and here's the problem. This is what we got to own up to. Because there was a moment where we was supporting Superfly. We was seeing Car Wash. I remember people seeing Car Wash and liking it. I'm not saying you should hate it, right? But for somebody outside of your culture will see you go see that and be like, y'all like it. So on Juneteenth, if we playing all movies that have to do with your culture, why wouldn't I include them? So I tried to walk them through, like, you got to, if we are, and it's along the lines of what you're talking about, James, if we're celebrating this stuff, even if it was for 10 minutes, somebody outside of the culture saw you celebrating it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to capitalize on it. That's what usually, happen. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to any of these big corporations or these big machines that's been put together, we don't own those.
I think it's the same fight that even the Christians get.
What's that?
Because when you look at it, black exploitation films and ratchet music and all that is pushed as black culture.
That's true.
And I mean, the majority of us,
but here's not the even part.
But the majority of us not even participating in that.
Here's the catchy part.
That's true.
And I've lived long enough to see it.
Yeah, that's not most of us.
I know, but here's the part, Boogie. So we have to do something to derail the production of it. Because what happens is they go to the projects and they go get a Sexy Red. They go get, we saw Lil' Kim, right? Lil' Kim is not from the suburbs. Lil' Kim from the hood. Mm-hmm. All these people was from the hood. So what happens is you go to people who are hungry already and uneducated. Where do you get hungry, uneducated, talented people from?
disenfranchised neighborhoods. Yeah,
and so they're a factory of this, so to speak. So that you just keep getting them. But here's the problem: one, Sexy Red says yes, and you go, dang, her ignorance, her hunger. Though you like, I can't blame her. Look where she was, right? But then she creates a fan base, and then people like her, and then the corporations and people say, well, people kind of liking her, they put more money behind it because she gonna turn over more profit. Now, whose fault is all of that?
Everybody's.
Everybody involved.
Well, my thing, because y'all already know how I feel about situations like this. It's always a machine behind it.
Exactly.
And then just like when I was,
but we don't own the machine.
Yeah, and that's what I'm about to say. We don't own the machine, so therefore, whatever they push to our community is what we taking. You know what I'm saying? Like just like they said in the 80s, what dope dealing and using dope was black culture, right?
Yeah.
How many people you knew was rolling around here like Rick Ross? Not a very many people were doing it. You know what I'm saying? It was a handful out of
having couple of dollars. I hear you.
Hundreds of thousands of black folks in here. There was black people working in factories doing 9 to 5s. Not doing that.
You went to Ladera Heights, everybody was doing good. You went over here over by
Carson,
USC, everybody was doing good. Carson.
You know what I'm saying? Even Compton back in the 60s, 70s was a middle class neighborhood. Even when after white flight, it was still black people there that was working.
There was.
You know what I'm saying? Doing good.
Inglewood too.
Yeah, but there is a machine behind it pumping this and making people think that this is black culture because they want us to look a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's saying like the church. When I was likening it to the church.
Mm-hmm.
When you go on Instagram, social media, all this, what do you see? Money hungry pastors.
Yeah.
All that.
They stealing from the church.
Yeah.
They having sex with the women in the church.
Yeah.
They doing all of this.
Yeah.
But how many pastors are really like that around here that we don't associate with no pastors?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We ain't knowing that like
so it's
that.
all about what they want to push. It's all about money, whatever sells.
Right.
And and this is my issue with this.
Yeah.
Same thing I was saying. Like when they kept saying the culture on the Kendrick clip, I was thinking like, man, shout out to everybody who's saying I don't rock with all of that. I don't rock with all of that. And whatever y'all gonna do about that, do whatever you gonna do, whatever's next. I'm learning how to rock with the crew that rocks with me. If y'all don't really want to accept me because I'm not that far into the culture where I accept all these destructive lifestyles to, I guess, fit into the black whatever narrative, then y'all just do whatever y'all gonna do next, because y'all not about to ruin my day telling me what I'm not black enough or whatever. Like, forget it. I don't need your cosign if you need me to be destructive in order to be accepted. I don't need your cosign.
And that's the thing. I think that's the thing. We can't celebrate. I think that the easiest way is try to avoid and not celebrate the things that are destructive about anybody's culture. So I think in everybody's culture, everybody's ethnicity, they have ill parts of those cultures, and we won't, as believers, there's just aspects I won't celebrate.
Yeah.
So with hip hop, I just had to learn how to do the same thing.
It's weird though.
I'm not gonna celebrate everything. You could just generally speaking, I can see you saying it's a part of the culture, but it's not every aspect of it I celebrate.
Yeah. It's weird how many different cultures have the worst parts of their society celebrated. I don't know how often that happens. That's one distinction that I noticed that we probably. I don't know how many different cultures can make money off of the worst parts of their culture.
Mardi Gras makes money every year, right?
I think.
And what do people usually do in Mardi Gras? Pray and ask the Lord to multiply their territory. That's what they doing over there.
No, they
with
get
the
lit.
beads.
They get lit,
and they're making, and that's a part of their culture, right? And that's the worst part of their culture being celebrated annually. Go ahead.
No, I think Jay-Z said it best. Summed it up. He said, truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I did 5 mil and I ain't rap like common sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the money.
It's the money. And I remember that line.
Yeah. And I think he summed it up just like that.
Yep. What?
Nah, he was yeah. And I think that's just the end of the conversation right there. Let us know what the deal is.
Whatever moves the meter, that's what we gonna run with.
Exactly.
All right.
And I think that hasn't changed, and that won't, unfortunately for some. But some people are motivated by different things, and it's more than just money at some point. But for a lot of people, it's just that. And for machines, it's most definitely that. Machines are like, how do we maintain and stay a machine.
Yeah.
Is to have batteries.
Yeah, and then I think it was Bizzle said that you can say, I killed the nigga. I killed the nigga.
Yeah.
I killed the Jew. One of them accepted, and one of them get you sent to jail.
Yeah.
One of them get you canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the reason why I brought that up, the Tyler thing fit in for me.
Yeah, we're not trying to
because-
get canceled. Move on. Go ahead, brother.
The reason why the reason why I thought the Tyler thing fit in is because I was feeling like as we celebrate Juneteenth, I think Juneteenth is everything about how we make something out of nothing. Through God's help, of course. But we make something out of nothing. That's the essence of black excellence to me. We can make something out of nothing. We can rise from the darkest, deepest oppression. And we're not the only people group that's had to go through horrible depression. I think that's another part we got to talk about on someday. We're not the only people group that's been through hell and back. But the fact that we've been able to make these strides in this country is just, I love it. And that's why I celebrate Juneteenth. And I'm not celebrating the destructive parts. I don't have to do that to celebrate Juneteenth.
Yeah.
We're about how we can make it out of nothing. I love that.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I'm gonna tell you what the buzz is right now. As you can feel it, it's all in the air, and that's this nice little debate that's coming up.
Here we go.
Dropping, it being, I know, Wednesday when you're hearing this, that would mean tomorrow's going down.
Another election cycle.
And Buki.
Yes, sir.
How do you think? Buki is our resident, I don't know,
political analyst.
He's most definitely our political, because he's the smartest
He's the
political
political analyst.
The people at the table. He knows more about politics than anybody at this table.
Yeah.
But he is, I wouldn't say a fan. How would you position yourself politically? What do you say you are?
Politically, I'm independent, but I lean conservative.
You lean conservative.
Conservative, independent.
Oh, shocker! You're a Christian. Shocker! You lean conservative.
But not only in moral views, but also physical views. Also,
Okay.
So
how do you think? Being the political guy, you stay well read. You know what's going on. You know what's going on in Congress. You be on it. I know, and I know this, and I say this because he speaks on this stuff in our group chats and stuff. So with all your knowledge, how do you think that this debate is going to go? Is this going to be a good thing for everybody, the country? Who is this going to be a good thing?
First of all, this is a 90-minute debate between an 81-year-old and a 78-year-old.
Lord have mercy.
Come on. Who gonna keep him woke on stage, first of all? You know what I'm saying? I liken this to the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Wow.
This is what this is, bro. It's like
it's a big
we're really gonna be watching this, and we're waiting for this, but it's a show. Yeah, it's a show. They've come up with new rules for this debate. All right, I'm gonna pop off a couple rules for you.
Let's hear.
First, no studio audience.
There ain't gonna be no audience with.
No audience. All right,
That's crazy.
No interaction from the campaign staff. Right.
No help.
No help. No use of notes. All right.
Yeah, I heard about that. Now that's interesting.
No interrupted. So Trump can't say nothing, and Joe can't tell him to shut up. Like he did last time.
They're not gonna let the mics fly like that. Yeah.
And the microphones will be muted. Whenever the next person talk.
Okay.
What is this going on, Doc? We've never seen anything like this ever.
That's I'm gonna tell you. That's really trying to slow down both of them, but that's really trying to slow down Trump.
I got one more for you.
My opinion.
You know that is.
Oh, yeah.
That's my
Hold
opinion.
on, I got one more for you. Trump staff asked for a drug test.
Oh yeah,
like just the Olympics. Like, can we do a drug test? Biden camp says we're not doing no drug test.
You know why?
Oh,
you know why?
They would have pumped me full of adrenaline, and then Trump would have said, "This is why this man is woke up on stage."
Listen, have you heard Trump setting up the cocaine narrative? Some cocaine came up missing a couple of days ago. And he talking about, like, I don't know if Biden gonna be up on that crack, he gonna be up on that cocaine. We gonna see how you gonna keep him awake for 90 minutes. He might be on that cocaine. He said it, man. Trump said, "Boy, gonna be hyped up on the cocaine. We need a drug test first, like a boxing match."
This is why. This is Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, bro.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
First of all, if y'all gonna deny or say we're not gonna have one, that it's just. I understand it, and that's probably what most people would have done in that position as you being the president. I get it, but it's still no way that you can escape that and not look shady. Like there's an aspect of we're not gonna have, but it's like it's the president, but it's like
and nobody else qualified for the debate.
And then
what is
how is nobody
on?
else on stage, man? Come on, this early in the game?
Yeah,
I don't want to see
nobody.
I can't wait till these one-liners hit. This is gonna be the greatest presidential debate of my time. Are you kidding me? I'm locked and loaded. This is like battle rap. You hear me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Trump finna slay this dude because one,
clearly
he can be hopped up, but no notes. Okay, let me just say it like this for us. Who off the dome you think gonna be the most vicious? Saying the most hot takes.
Definitely.
Off the dome. I'm just saying off the dome.
I don't think nothing is on the dome for Biden. Man, like, have you seen him recently?
Why are we here?
Man, he was on stage with Obama a couple of days ago. Obama had to grab me like, no, come this way, Joe. No, Joe, come this way. Come with me. Like, Joe was stuck. Man, they didn't let that man live his days out.
I don't believe that, Boogie.
Got that man up there on stage like that.
I was hearing that.
It was AI?
Yeah.
Hey, you know that he did have that different color neck to shoulder situation going on. It was like, why this man's neck is a different color from his shoulder for the rest of his body?
AI going hard,
oh
buddy.
My God.
Man, can't nobody top Trump talking about himself, bro. You're not going to. There's nobody better in that.
Man.
This man talking about what he will do, nobody has ever been as good at that.
I'm only watching for the jokes. I don't care what anybody's gonna do for the country, whatever they say, I don't believe them anyway. But jokes, who got the jokes? Trump gonna have the jokes. Trust me when I tell you.
Do you hear me? Trump is already setting up the cocaine narrative, bro. There's some cocaine missing.
The fact that he asked for the drug test is
the fact that he asked for the drug test
Yes.
is hilarious, bro.
It's let you know what he finna be off the
and what's funnier is that because Hunter Biden is known to be on that nose candy.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he just got convicted.
Yeah.
Check your daddy. Run it.
Oh my God. This is going to be hilarious, bro. And it's sad that we in this place right now. The rest of the world is looking at us like,
I think America is getting exactly what it deserves. This is the kind of character that this kind of society needed. Just we don't want to be up on, just like me. I'm part of the problem. I'm looking at the man in the mirror, like Mike said. This is me.
Yeah.
And it's why, because I'm totally not interested in politics. I'm not seeing how things go. I probably could have stopped this somewhere along the way. We could have. We probably all. We could have helped Buki. And me and you, James, if we would have got more into politics, could be helping Buki have a different situation than Biden and Trump right now.
It was must-see TV for like 4 years. Don't lie. It was must-see TV. We couldn't turn it off. You ain't never watched that much CNN in your life before Trump got on the mic.
But Trump did have some good policies, though, for the...
Okay, here we go, Buki.
We had some good policies. We're not going to just let it go like that.
This not my guy, but he did.
The problem was the media pushed so hard against that man that the urban community couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And see, Trump's whole deal was, we're going to stop all this handouts. Y'all get out there and make it on your own. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you some tools. Use this, do that. Go out there and go and get it.
Yeah,
that was his mentality.
But this the problem though, because I think we all agree that that's a good. We don't all agree, but I think there's a lot of people who subscribe to that. Yeah. But that's not what he modeled in his business practices. That's why we was like, hold up, man, you didn't do none of this.
But the problem is we didn't grow up like Trump. We didn't grow up as millionaire kids. They live different. They play different.
Yeah,
their rules are different.
Yeah. That's right.
But if I'm giving you the blueprint, like, look, what they say, they was mad at Trump. Oh, show us your tax papers. You know, he's doing it. Trump like, all I did was use the loopholes that y'all created.
Right.
Yeah. Hello? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when he pushed like the different programs for the black community, African American community, the black community to go out there and start businesses and all that, it was so much pushed out there. Oh, he's a racist, this and that. But my thing is, Trump has never became a racist until he ran for president.
No, man.
He was on all the black shows.
Yeah, I already know, Bookie.
Rappers. Oh, Trump is the homeboy. He was at all the fights.
That's one of my favorite.
Come on now, let's be real. Did nobody say nothing about he's a racist when he was shaking hands with everybody?
That's because when he was back there just whining and dining with the Bentleys and all of that, he was an image of the culture's a desire to be rich and to be a billionaire. So we get that. But then he turned around and during his campaign, he just went down the list. Let me say something crazy about the Mexicans. Then I'm gonna say something crazy about the blacks. What y'all got to lose? Let me say something crazy about this group. Say something crazy about the handicaps and he just said something crazy about POWs and everybody. He just went down the list.
If you're a true stand-up comedian, that's exactly what you have to do. If you're a true stand-up comedian, everybody gets it. And you can't feel no kind of way about it. But I'm going to really try to do something for you. It doesn't matter. This is who we get.
And this man.
I should have been voting a long time ago. I should have participated. I'm sorry, America. I let you down, and here's who we have.
Yeah, he had a WWF campaign, and he didn't care. He was going to be the villain, and he knew he was going to play to a base.
That's how campaigning
He's not
goes.
a good leader, fam. We can't vote for this dude. He's a terrible person, terrible leader.
Your other option is somebody that don't know he's in reality. Like, you really go vote for somebody that's just standing there? Like, what?
I'm not. You already know I'm not voting for neither one of them. You know that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I need somebody else to step up because we not voting for neither one of them. We back in 2016.
Not the vote.
We not voting for neither one of them.
What's going to happen is, and the reason I keep talking about the jokes and all that, because I know the American people, and that's who's going to win the debate. The person who got the better jokes and the most hot takes, and then who's the most entertaining, and that's who's going to always typically win the presidency. And you finna see that.
I don't think Trump is going to get a single vote more than he has already. I don't think there's any way for him to win any extra votes. The only thing,
dude, he come with some hot comedy. He winning some new votes. I'm telling you.
He gonna tonight.
Absolutely.
You think right after Juneteenth, Trump has an opportunity to gain more votes than what he already has, because he already has a base. We know that they not moving. So that group ain't moving. They know what they want.
He's sending another check with his name on it. It's a wrap.
First of all, this man is talking about canceling the federal taxes.
Oh,
like,
snap!
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have black folks who are middle class, upper middle class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? High class.
Yeah.
That's like, no, I'm voting my paper. Forget about everything. I mean, things that Trump said was the way he, like my wife always tell me, Boogie, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
How you say
it.
And I think that was Trump's biggest problems.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he tell the black folks, what you got to lose to vote for me? What he's saying is, you didn't vote a Democrat all these years.
Yeah.
Well, we had something to lose, Bookie. We had stuff when he said that. No. We had been graduating people from high school, college.
He's talking about under left policy.
I'm talking about under left policy. What did he do? By the time he said that, we were graduating people from colleges. We were starting businesses.
The 94 crime bill. How many of us got locked up behind the 94 crime bill?
Way too many. Way too many.
People doing 25 to life over a joint.
Yeah.
Come on now,
or a bag of crack. Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about. No, there was like, you get caught with this. This is a felony. You're doing 25 to life.
Yeah.
What else? You know what I'm saying? Like, try us out. You haven't won.
Right.
He's telling the hood you haven't won voting Democrat all these years.
Yeah,
I got that.
So what you got to lose? Go ahead and give me a try.
That's very different from saying we ain't got nothing to lose. We had something to lose. We had stuff by the time he said that, and that's the part that makes it racist. Like, you don't even see us. You're over here pandering to us, and you don't even see us. We are not the same group from the 60s that didn't have nothing. By the time he said that in 2015,
but he's not talking.
We were doing better than we ever had.
He's talking to the class of people that been raised. Oh, you're black, you're Democrat. This is who he's talking to.
Oh yeah, I get that.
That's who he's talking to. Yeah. And you look at Trump points are up in the black community right now. They're up because now people are starting to vote with their wallet, because you're looking at, I'm tired of paying $6 a gallon for gas. Yeah. I'm tired of inflation. I'm tired of paying $8 for a gallon of milk. You know what I'm saying?
And if you promise that you're gonna bring that stuff down,
exactly.
I mean, and then say your opponent is not doing that, and he's not campaigning as hard.
Now the other side is quick to take whatever money they can pull together and give it to somebody else. That's their whole premise. Like that's what the left has always been about. We're gonna take this money, we're gonna give it to somebody else. And after a while, you start thinking like, well, how much of this you gonna take from me and give to somebody else? And people really are thinking about like, all right, I can't just vote for the little guy, because traditionally those of us that voted Democrat, like I'm independent, but I lean left. So I'm like kind of the opposite of Pookie. I've been independent since I've been voting. But I've always leaned like, okay, I've been the little guy my whole life. So I've always thought like, let's lean towards the little guy if we're going to pick. Since we got to hold our nose either way, we going to vote for somebody we don't fully support. Let's go that way. That's how I've always voted, for better or for worse. And, you have buyer's remorse and all of that. We all do. That's not new. But think about it. If you're going to keep giving my money away and I'm not seeing any return on it, it's like I'm starting to feel like, okay, this is a good idea that you want to help the little guy, but y'all don't know how to do it. So I'm going to stop voting for y'all. I think that's what a lot of the independents and even some people on the left are saying. And I think that's why you're seeing people start to move right, Buki, because at first we were all thinking like the Democrats are thinking about the disenfranchised, the person who's behind. But I don't trust y'all no more. Yeah. Y'all keep taking all this money and saying that it's going to go somewhere that it never ends up going to. And that's what Biden need to be doing. He need to be telling us, all right, this is what we do. We've given this amount of money to college funds. We've given this amount of money to scholarships. We've given this amount of money to black businesses. We give this amount of money to low income minority businesses. And I don't hear him doing that. He just taking shots at your man.
That would help him.
That would help. Like, tell me what you're doing with all this money, because they run on, we gonna take this money, we gonna help the guy who needs a helping hand.
They shooting into Ukraine. That's what's happening.
See, that's not gonna work.
They shooting into Ukraine when they telling us that, oh yeah, we're gonna forgive your loans, but after you make 100 payments, then we keep like, by the time I make 100 payments, my loan is $4.
I'll be homeless.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you gonna clear $100 of debt after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not telling us, like, his awareness level seems to be super low. Like, I'm talking about Biden. His awareness levels is low. So even though Trump ain't saying nothing, all he had to do is shoot out a couple things that he gonna do, and his base gonna be like, we told y'all. And then Biden's gonna come out and just tell you how terrible Trump is. That's not gonna work. Like, tell me what you're doing with all these left-leaning policies. All these left-leaning policies are supposed to be helping somebody.
Yeah.
But
I don't see
where Trump told you put Biden in office, your taxes are going to be high. You're going to be dealing with inflation. Yeah. You're going to end up in World War III. Trump is looking like that prophet that, you know what I'm saying, that these folks is calling him to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's rough, man. The left seems real arrogant these past 10 years, and they taking L's. I don't know, man. What's the debate going to look like? What you think going to happen at the debate?
Oh, man, it's going to be comedy. It's going to, you know what? It's going to be a live Saturday night live skit. That's what we're gonna be watching, bro. That's exactly. I just hope Biden stay up during the whole situation.
Man, I wish I had my projector still up. I gotta give me another one.
You need a big screen view of that.
This. Exactly.
Like we should all get together and watch it.
Like the fight and just watch that. I'm telling you, that's gonna be fire.
Oh, that's crazy.
Can't wait.
So you think Trump can actually win more voters in this next 6 months?
That's what this next little 6 months is all about, bro. It's campaigning.
I get that, but I'm saying you think he can do that.
That's like asking me, do you think it's people on the fence right now? Yep.
Because you got to realize, during campaign season,
that's all it takes. Somebody to be on the fence right now, and he gonna knock them over in a minute.
It just take one situation to flip people. One situation.
If he start talking about reparations, that might be it, dog. Y'all might give me the flip if he start talking about
reparations.
If
you telling people they can keep their paycheck, most of their paycheck,
that's a different.
Come on, man.
That's different.
You speaking language.
Who don't want to hear that?
Yeah, that's different. That's different. I didn't know that one.
You got to talk real politicianal, strategy type things at this moment. And if you're not doing that, I'm not messing with you. But here's the reality. They're not going to deliver on most of this. Trump said he was going to build a wall. Where's the wall at? Where's even the sign says that the wall is coming. Well, ain't no wall coming, but he said it. And it helped in the moment. Now you say that was silly. It doesn't matter, bruh. I'm trying to get people on my side. So I'm going to do things and I'm going to take opportunity to make it happen. And think about it. They never really... Since that first, Biden Biden didn't have nothing to do with it. But since the first time he ran, he really hasn't put himself out like this.
Well, Biden
Trump
is now asking for help to build the wall. Biden administration is now trying to build the wall, and he's saying that Trump cronies will not allow him to build the wall.
We can talk about something else. See what I'm saying?
I'm just
this
saying,
is how
bro.
these cats get down, bro.
That's how they get themselves, man. That's how they get themselves caught in a twist. They talk about something that's not cool when Trump says it, and then they go about to do it themselves like this wasn't Trump idea.
Because they find out later on, talking like that, I'm gonna win some people over.
That's right.
They're only trying to do what they feel is gonna work. So when that time, I remember when Hillary Clinton was on the Breakfast Club, and she said she had something about the hot sauce
in her purse.
And then he was like, are you being honest? Are you being truthful or something to that degree? And she was like, is it working?
Yeah, she did say that.
That was her response.
Yeah.
Nigga, it was like the wolf just said something, made a wolf comment.
And a bunch of us said that's exactly why I'll never vote for you again. That's exactly how we left that.
And Joe Biden said you ain't black if you don't vote for me.
He did. To the same person's face.
And
you still got Charlemagne still pushing that.
I'm weird. I'm feeling
it's a machine.
I'm weird, but now Charlemagne is not pushing nobody. Now I noticed this year
he's not pushing nobody, but he's pushing.
Who you think?
He's pushing he's pushing the left. He's pushing the left. He got up there and said, "Oh, I'm not signing off on no particular candidate, but I'm not voting Trump." This is what he says on his thing. So I mean, it's only 2 people up there, but you're voting. But he said, "I'm voting, but I'm not voting for Trump."
He don't seem to
come on.
be like pro Biden though. He ain't helping.
No,
him.
If
he was, he sure ain't helping him. That's
because it seemed like it's 2 very different philosophies. The left has always said, let's try to help the little guy. That's better for everybody. And the right has always said, let's try to help the big corporations because that's who make the jobs. Let's take care of them. And that's what it's always felt like. I don't know if that's true for real behind the scenes, but that's how it's always felt. Like 2 different philosophies. And I've always subscribed to let's help the little guy and see if that'll be better. This last go around, it ain't seeming like it's paying off, man. I can't front. It don't seem like it's paying off. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but
I seen you hanging with your homegirl too the other day on a little video. I wish I could do something with it and use it as promo, but that's probably we thought that was not a smart idea at all to do anything like that.
Shout out to the Juneteenth celebration.
My boy did it. You helped with it, and I told you next time let me know because I was in my city. I could have rolled up just to see what was put together in the name of Gardena. But anyway, you was hanging with your girl, Maxine.
I thought she was going to mention something, but she didn't.
Of course not.
So I was like, oh, okay, so she ain't going to. Yeah.
She didn't get on the campaign?
Nah, she didn't get on. I was actually shocked.
That's one of Bookie's favorite local politicians is Maxine Waters, who he loves.
Auntie Maxine. Auntie Maxine.
That he loves and adores for all the wonderful things she's done for the community.
Oh, my God.
And how she motivates his people.
All right, what's the next segment?
His auntie. Anyway, moving right along, we can switch gears, man. This is about, we get into, man, this guy just, I don't know. This take was crazy. So you guys sent this, and I skipped this one. I missed this or whatever, but this is about a man being cheated on. Now, trigger warning. If you're a man who has been cheated on by a serial
cheater
and crazy.
She for the
What's
streets.
Another name?
She clearly for the streets, whoever she is. Clearly.
Then, you've been warned. You might want to, jump back or jump it up, a few seconds. But anyway, let me hear this clip, man. Bring it back up.
Man is. He is sticking by me whether I cheated or not, which I did, but it's okay. We are still making it work. We are going to be one big happy family. As you know, we have other children together. Mm-hmm. So everyone's going to be brother and sister. Absolutely. Nobody's going to be treated differently.
Mm-hmm. No separation on my end. Because let me tell you something. As a man, I was brought up to stick by your woman no matter what.
Whoever mixed this that's jacked up, they put a little laugh in there. I didn't see that coming. But what y'all think, man?
Stick by your woman no matter what. As a man, you stick by your woman no matter what. That's what he said.
Did you hear her tone at the beginning of that?
She's like, yeah, I cheated. And
you know, cheated, and I did. Then I run that back.
Man he is sticking by me whether I cheated or not, which I did, but it's okay. We are still.
But it's okay.
But it's okay.
Get away from that psycho now. Run. Is what I would say, but unfortunately, you heard the brother. You know, he's gonna be there. You know, they done messed around and had kids now, so now we just started like a family. We gonna blend it together.
We already got kids, so don't worry about this one not being yours. Am I hearing that right?
That's what she said.
We already got kids together. What's another one? Another one that's not mine. That's what. It's another one that's not mine.
But it doesn't matter, James. We will still raise them together, so it doesn't matter. We'll just be.
Woo.
I don't know. That's why I don't know. Could y'all do that? Let's get down to this. Put the pressure on you too.
You know.
Oh no! Go ahead. Go ahead. Step on out.
I'm gonna say it like this. If we split and you have a child and we decide to get back together after we split, that's a different situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you have a child while we together, deuces.
Hey,
I'm not doing it.
I can't have you sounding like that. You can't sound like that. Like I would want to try to work it out, but you can't sound like that. So I might have cheated, but it's all right. You know, we all fall down. But nah, bro, that's not the type of person I don't think I can stay with.
It sounds like she skipped counseling. That's all. That step, at least, is talking to somebody. She skipped that part.
That must have been my man, only girl. That's probably the only woman he ever had as a girlfriend, wife, ever.
He don't know his other options.
I don't think he knows. I don't think he believe he can get another option. I don't. Yeah.
Hey,
that's that vibe. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you knew anybody like that.
We know people that's been through stuff. But to talk like that about something in my face about something that you did. It was cheating. It wasn't no break, right? It wasn't no break. So you talking in my face like that, like, okay, so I cheated, but it's okay.
Nah, that's a vibe. That's not a good vibe.
I'd probably be ready to strangle somebody, man. I need to get away from her because I don't know how I would handle that over time. Like I'm just waking up in the middle of the night, like
it's full beta male energy.
Is that what it is?
Full beta male energy, bro.
The boy said full beta. And he was trying to pump himself up, as a man, stop it.
She probably told him to say it. She probably wrote a script for him. Like, no, you're gonna say this right here. This is what you're gonna say. You're gonna raise me and Maxwell's child. You're not gonna treat him any differently. Say this.
That's bad.
Man, it's the way you come back from a mistake that make a big difference. Yeah. The way you come back from a mistake, like that's probably the ultimate betrayal. I think. I don't think it's nothing worse. I mean,
in a marriage, I don't think there's nothing worse in a marriage.
In a marriage, I don't think it's like almost nothing worse. I can't think of nothing worse.
No, you know what? I've heard my wife shot me this video that may be worse than this situation. Oh boy and his wife got into it. I think somebody, the old boy cheated.
Okay.
Old girl took his mother urn and flushed her down the toilet.
What in the world?
Yeah, I'm like, yo, that's about the only thing that I don't even know if that's even worse.
That's not worse for me.
That's not even worse.
That ain't worse for me.
I don't even know.
The only thing you can do is hurt my kids. That's the only thing worse you can do besides that is hurt my kids. And most of us ain't gonna do that. So I'm saying, this is the worst thing, bro. This is the worst thing you could do to your spouse, male or female. But to talk about it like that and expect me to stick around, like I'm not gonna be good. I don't know how we gonna move on from that. I don't see how you could ever move on from that. And I don't know if I'm taking this too far because me and my wife have talked about it, like, hey, I don't know, we just having a conversation, not trying to find no way out, but we would just have conversations. We have any conversation. Hey, would you stay if something happened? Would you stay? And I think for a few years we would say yeah, and then after a certain amount of time we started saying no to each other. It was weird how that transitioned. For a long time, like the first few years, we would say, yeah, I think we would try to work it out. Yeah, I think we would try to work it out. And then somewhere along the way, the conversation changed, and me and wifey was like, nah, I think if you could betray me like that after all we've been through, something must be changing. I don't think I would want to sit through that.
Yeah, even if you minus the getting pregnant and having a baby, just the whole infidelity in a marriage, man, that's hard, bro.
The baby makes it 100 times worse.
The baby makes it.
Is that worse for you, Jay? Having a baby, is that worse than having an affair?
Okay, now, Piet, I've heard what you guys have said. I've seen someone personally go through this, and this is the exact scenario. Now, I agree with James. It's all about the attitude. Okay. If the attitude was that, it's like, bam. That wasn't their attitude. It was most definitely something I think they grieved and was regrettable. Okay. I remember one of the things about it, because being close to the story, one of the things is when it came to the point where they had to tell their spouse what they were like getting away and like being in their garage and just crying because of just where they were, you know what I mean? And I just remember hearing that as part of the story. But anyway, fast forward, there is a child involved. And by the grace of God, these are believers. And by the grace of God, you know, child's integrated into the family. It's, you know, it's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful story. Could it always happen like that? No. Should you expect it to happen like that? No.
No, that's a rare.
But I've seen it, and I mean, watch the child grow up until like to a young, you know, adult. But just remembering that. So seeing people go through that, like, yeah, a cheating spouse, and could it work out as, you know, believers? Yeah, you know, God could do all kind of things. But we were talking about that, I think, last pod. You can, you know, make it down the hill with a bicycle with one wheel, but ain't nobody, you know, really trying to do that. Yeah. Like,
so your wife comes back pregnant from somebody else.
So that's a
what you doing?
Thing.
What you doing?
That's a hard thing at this point.
What if she come back talking like that? Yeah, I cheated, but it's okay.
I mean, that makes it easier because of the attitude. But if it's a cool attitude, that makes it, you know, challenging. Like, I messed up. You know, that's a lot to consider based on me. But see, you looking at 20 plus. That's, you know, 2 weeks.
Does that make it easier or does that make it harder to stay?
It makes it worse.
That makes it easier to stay? It makes it harder to stay?
It makes it easier to stay. It just makes it a harder decision. But again, especially if, you know, based on the attitude. But
you know, and then I would say you have to look at everything.
Maybe the part you played in it.
The part that you played in it.
Ran through the ringer for the first few years.
And then, have you always been faithful?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All those things play a factor in it.
All of that.
I'm looking at my situation where I have never been in a bed with another woman. You know what I'm saying? We've been married 21 years coming up.
I feel you.
And
yeah.
And you like, I don't know if I can handle it.
I feel you.
I don't know if I can lay next to my wife every night knowing that, you know what I'm saying, this situation took place.
It's one of them things where, like, even if you look in the scriptures and you think about all the different reasons why God loves marriage, and then you come to that and be like, wait, she did what? Even Jesus was like, wait, she did what?
And then I'm going to start thinking about the acts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that
First of all,
the mind goes a whole lot of places, bro.
Hey, that's a guy thing.
That's what I'm about to say.
I think that's a guy
thing. Let's be 1,000. That's the first thing I'm finna be thinking about. That's finna be messing up everything. Like, man. So yes, I'm thinking about the acts. That's a lot of counseling, bro.
It's a lot
to try to.
It's one of the few things, even in the scriptures, be like, yeah, that might be one of the deal breakers. It's one of the deal breakers. It is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
as much as God loves marriage, you'll see it several times. Like, yeah, that right. They did what? Like, that's one of them ones.
Yeah.
And the way she making it sound like it ain't nothing to lose anyway.
Yeah.
But a little child support.
Get over it.
No, I'm saying, like, to leave somebody like her wouldn't be nothing but some child support problems. Because we already got kids together. I might be willing to take them child support problems over her. I can do bad all by myself.
Yeah.
But that's just how, I don't know how I really feel. I ain't never had to deal with nothing like that for real, but that's how I feel, right? You talking like that? telling me what a man's supposed to do. A real man gonna stay. That's what she was trying to say. A real man gonna stay. And he paired in behind it. Oh,
Beta male vibes.
Yeah, it's hard to listen to that. This is very, very, very hard to listen to that.
Man.
And rock with that. You good?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. Hold up. All right. This was wild. This little sound bite right here. Check this out.
Absolutely not. That was not a word from God. This big prophet came to town. During the middle of the service, he started giving prophecy. So when he came to me, he said, I see you in a new car. Yes, in a nice new Toyota Camry.
Red flag.
I said, no, sir, you don't see that, sir. What you mean I don't see that? Why don't I see that? I said, because I got a Lexus coupe outside. Surely I ain't going from a Lexus to a Camry. Now, I ain't got nothing against a Camry.
That's right.
But surely I didn't come in the door with a Camry, and he didn't come into the door with a prophecy. He came in with a familiar spirit, which means he judged us by the church. He said, small church, small people, they must be Camry people. Absolutely.
He said they must be Camry people.
They must be Camry people.
Oh my God.
She'll like this. This will play here. This will play here.
Yeah, and that's most definitely a red flag. You got a guy coming in
Promising Camrys.
talking about material stuff, man. I'm telling you, it's a red flag, and I don't even have to hesitate on that. Well, Gerald, you don't know what the prophet might be trying to share with if it's about some property and some money and some material, nothing, man, no. 9 times out of 10, that person is horrible. Correct me if I'm wrong, that the person that stood up did that, said, oh, you gonna get, some potato chips and a hamburger, whatever. That sounds stupid, but it's something material. And then they were still looked at as a solid preacher. We should get them.
I've never seen that work out.
So it's easy for me. So as soon as someone say anything of that, nah, that's probably not him. It's 12 other people I can name that's solid that don't do none of that stuff. You don't need that in your life.
These dudes need to start getting exposed.
Yes.
Straight up.
I love what she did.
Name drop these dudes.
Yeah.
Blast them out.
Blast them.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got these dudes got to get called out.
Yeah.
They're the reason you got to use discernment. They're the reason that the Bible pushes discernment. Otherwise, you would fall for foolishness like this, man.
It's everything we want to hear too. Like, I'm gonna have a big house. I'm gonna have my business about to take off. I'm about to find my wife. I'm about to find my calling. All that stuff that I've been wanting to hear already. And they know that. Don't they know that that's what I've been asking for? That's what I want. So I feel like you pandering to me on levels that's disrespectful almost.
Very disrespectful.
Like, you playing me so small. Like, I'm just finna dance to your little tune for any little thing that you know I might want. She was like, I'm not having that.
But isn't that just like they do the rappers in the Sexy Red, like I was saying earlier? Isn't that the same thing? It's exactly the same thing, which is sickening, but it's the same thing with the religious twist.
Yeah, man.
And you preying on the same crowd.
It's got to be the same crowd. It's that crowd that's a little bit desperate,
but
haven't usually had.
Here's America's story.
Too much success already.
How did that crowd become that crowd? Because a lot of these people were descendants of slavery, and they don't have any connection to people.
And we couldn't buy property in certain areas, and we couldn't keep our businesses going.
So you're desperate.
And they worked against us having what we needed. So we 4 generations behind.
So you're super desperate too.
Yeah.
That's why you talk about life like you do and how hard it is and all it is, because it is, and it's challenging for most. But what I'm saying is, for us who are quote unquote behind, you're getting taken advantage of. It's still happening. Imagine it's 2024 and I still see black people, and it's a result because you don't have nobody to go home to.
Right.
The reason other ethnicities thrive, and I'm not saying that we'll talk about that in the future, how other people have suffered too,
right.
because one of the mothers at the church, I remember years ago telling me that we should be taking a lot of notes, or we should have taken a lot of notes and still probably should, from a lot of Jewish brothers and sisters of ours, because they went through the same thing, because they were in a scenario where people were not messing with them.
Yeah.
And so they had to build their situation up, you know what I'm saying? They figured out kind of ways, and that's like to say, hey, it ain't always been cool for them either, and a whole bunch of other people. But what they do is they have a connection to their culture, who they are, and so they're like, we are who we are, and so we stick together and we build up, and they, you know, they're able to accomplish this. And for people who are not connected to that, you're extra vulnerable. Yeah, you may start with nothing, but you're probably going to stay with nothing because you don't even have a team to help you build it up. You kind of like on your own, which makes you vulnerable. People can argue to all the other people who are around you, who they may have built up all their systems with it, but you're not. But you don't have your own. So how you gonna survive? You gonna need all of us, and they gonna make sure that you need us for this and that, or you can't survive. Go ahead, Boogie.
That's what 45 Minutes said. What you got to lose?
Yeah,
that's the point he was trying to make. I think we just made it for him.
Yeah.
I'm not buying none of this, Spooky. I'm just letting you get this off. I'm not buying this. Just letting you get it off. Like,
think about
I can't
that,
argue
fellas.
with some of this stuff. Like your man be having a strong point. I don't buy it, but your man be having a strong point. The thing about it is, like, coming from like what I would consider poverty in America, I understand why people want to hear this stuff. I remember being in welfare lines. I remember being broke. I remember food stamps and all that type of stuff. I remember cashing my first checks at the check cashing place. I didn't have a bank account. I remember not having credit cards, nobody having a car, nobody owning property, nobody having a business. Like, that's where I come from.
Yeah.
So when you start telling me like, oh, I see this prosperity or this materialism in your future, I absolutely been thinking about that stuff. If you telling me God is thinking about me in that way, part of me absolutely wants to be like, wait, my ears is open now. Wait, what you saying? My antennas are up. God is hearing some of this stuff that I want. But what's the danger in that?
That you can get some of that stuff and be deceived and think that is God talking to you. I think that's worst case scenario, that you actually just become more deceived. And you're like, oh man, this is working. Like you said at one, where somebody talked about and laughed, talking about, they was laughing at the titles too, talking about laying prostrate on the Tesla truck. Because if, all bets are off and we could just do stuff like that, that's how crazy we would be out here, being. And I think when you come from, because like you, I come from humble means, I was raised by a single mother in South Central Los Angeles. And so I couldn't have everything. I ate. I was taken care of. I thank God for what I did have.
Never hungry, never homeless.
Never. My grandparents were there for us as well because we lived with them. We wouldn't have had a place to stay without them. But so I thank God for the provision that I had. But it can set you up if you're not careful and have a good upbringing and a lot of people watching you. It can lead you to be open to things of, hey, let's make some quick money in some way that may not be, legal. And so it kind of opens you up to that. And I feel like America, we produce that on purpose. Like at this point, it's like we're going to have a group of people who it helps to be in these desperate situations and don't have these infrastructures, because who else do the payday loans work on?
Yeah,
places.
I remember payday loans, all that stuff.
Like all that stuff works on. It doesn't work on everybody.
Right.
This is working on a certain group of people. Why? And the whole thing is they don't even have a business without that group of people.
Yeah. And we were uneducated. So I know I'm part of that group. So I know uneducated is the only way you get me. As soon as I learn better, I do better.
Exactly.
So as soon as I learned how to get a bank account, I got one. As soon as I learned how to make that budget work, I made it work.
So why are you learning about cash advances before you learn about bank accounts? Because it ain't just a scenario, because we think, oh, you probably done jacked up your bank situation. That's why you're over here. And no, that was some people's scenario. But no, unfortunately, because geographically where this place is, and sometimes somebody who was maybe working with maybe came and just cast a check over here, and this just became normal to you. You're like, why not? Why do I need a bank account? I could just, I don't know, but I think 8,000 reasons you need one. But anyway,
so I asked that question for a reason. I think I'm asking the question because I'm going somewhere, right? What the danger in that? I wanted to hear y'all opinion. Like, what's the danger in that?
Yeah. Because God becomes an ATM machine.
Yeah. Okay,
you know what I'm saying, and that's all it becomes. He's no longer, he's not sovereign over your life. He's not the God of the hills. He's not the God of the valleys. You know what I'm saying? He only the God of the hills. You know what I'm saying? So even in a situation where sickness might hit and you're expecting to be healed, but God has other plans, we don't see that.
Yeah.
Because we only think only good things come out of this. You know what I'm saying? That we consider good. Yeah. But we don't look at God's plan. We think that whatever our situation is that we want to come out, that's how God ought to operate.
Yeah.
And when he doesn't produce the outcome that we want, then our faith in God is destroyed, or he no longer exists to us. You know what I'm saying? We've been lied to. And I think that's the problem with even in a lot of the black churches. You know what I'm saying? We've been given this theology, this what you call it, the
faith,
naming and claiming, faith movement, doctrine, and all of this. And then when it don't work out, is where was God? You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. Here's the part that I'm thinking out. I was driving down Manchester the other day, and there's this church that I've been to a couple times, and I remember they came and preached at one of the churches I was at, and when they came and preached, they came and told us to worship God and the King. This is what the pastor said: worship God and the King. And it's funny because this was one of the churches in LA that had a weed dispensary across the street. Remember you were talking about it in Atlanta? They had that. Jamal Bryant was trying to get that weed dispensary. This dude was too. He was an LA version of that. Yeah. And he was on one side of Manchester with his church, and on the other side of the street was a strip mall, and they owned part of the strip mall, and they had a dispensary in there.
Let's get it up.
And it was like, okay, so I see what this dude is about. But before that, he came to our church and he preached, and he tried to tell us to worship God and the King. And he tried to say our pastor was the king, and he had us bow down on our knees to our pastor. And I remember thinking, like, this is the most humiliating thing I've ever imagined at a church. Yeah. That I would be bending my knee to a man. Yeah. And that's the part that I think is what's going on here too. Like some of these prophets and people like that, they want you to worship them. They want you to worship them. Part of their brand is that you go to them and you think of them as the voice of God. Like this dude was trying to say, like, God got a Camry for you. And she was like, that can't be the voice of God because I'm already up. So you ain't speaking for God to me because you talking about something that would be going backwards. No, I'm already up, sir. So
what he was saying was you were to give me the Lexus and I have a Camry for you. But we're only hearing one side of the story. So
yeah, and that was part of his message too. When he preached his sermon, he was talking about worship God and the King, and then he started talking about how his church sent him to a certain resort in Jamaica or whatever, and then flew his wife in also and paid for everything. That's how they took care of him. And I was thinking, like, man, this sounds like pimp culture. Man. This sounds so much like pimping. And that's what I'm hearing from some of these fake prophecies and some of these fake pastors and some of these people that's pimping us. You can only do that to people that's looking for something. Yeah. But man, I was like, this is like, I've been traumatized by some of this pimp stuff in the church. And when I hear it, I'm like, oh, this is foul, man. That dude told us to worship God and the King and made us bow down to our pastor. That was around the time where I was like, yeah, it's time to leave here. If you can let them do that to us, I don't know if I can stay here much longer. I think we left not too long after that church. We was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm not staying for this. Yeah. But I remember seeing people get on their knees bowing to the pastor on a knee. I was like, yo.
No, I was going to say, I thought that stuff would play out by now, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Because we looking for leadership, man. We all want a leader. We all want a hero. We all want somebody to help us, especially if you've been down bad. This stuff plays better when you've been down. If you've been in a disenfranchised community, you've been in a broken family. Like I got a small family, and we spread out. We not close. So when you start talking about family and leadership and all that, I'm looking for that. And if you tell me like, oh, this man going to come and help us, man, if he come and talking with the lies, some of us gonna believe it. Like we already looking for a hand up. We need help getting up. So that's why I think it plays so well.
She mentioned something interesting in her video. In this Emace video, they mentioned the same phrase, which is familiar spirit. Check this out.
Familiar spirits.
Mom had died, and he said, your mom visited me last night and told me everything was going to be okay. I said, no, she didn't.
You said that?
Yeah, I said, Dad, I love you. But Dad, that wasn't Mom.
Mm-hmm.
When I had to take him over to Deuteronomy 13 and Deuteronomy 16, 18, that was a spirit that was posing as Mom, presenting itself to you to gain space in your life so that it can get you into a stronghold.
This is a thing with us.
Yeah.
I saw so-and-so at the foot of my bed and they rubbed my feet.
For the believer, to be absent from the body is to be where?
With the Lord.
Present with the Lord, right?
Okay. What confuses us to believe that that is...
That's what a familiar spirit's job is to do.
Yeah.
That's why Jesus said, I'm the door to the sheepfold, the spirit realm. If any man comes any other way, he's a thief and a robber. Go boldly before what? The throne of grace. Mm-hmm. So when you pray, you're transported into the spirit realm before God's throne.
That was from a snippet from a podcast called In Total. Start giving people their props. We just be playing stuff. But anyway, that was your boy E. Mace, and it was interesting. What he was sharing was, in context, was his dad, after his mom passed, visiting him, and him coming to him and sharing that, and he having to seem like tell his pops like, nah, that's not what really actually happened.
That's not Mom's.
That's not Mom's.
That's not Mom's. Pop, I don't know who you saw. That's not Mom's.
And I did. I played that. I played it for Bobby. I played it for one of the elders at the church, and then I asked him what he thought. He did. He brought up the same passage, Deuteronomy 13. He's like, read that, and take a look at that, and like that's a real thing. And every time I hear them stories, it's wow. Because I will say this, it's the crunchy part of, and I have to just admit this, it's the crunchy part that I have to deal with Tabitha Brown, Auntie Tab. I love
Tabby on that.
I love me some Auntie Tab. Tab is a little worse.
With the ancestors or what?
I see dead people. For real.
Oh, she be seeing stuff.
Oh, yeah. And that's what he's saying. He's saying that my dad had a visitation by my mom, and she's like, she's okay. He's telling his dad that wasn't Mom. It's deceiving spirits, yada, yada, yada. But her thing was, one, she calls herself a seer. That's kind of crazy. If you ever play the game Werewolf with me, you most definitely would think that's wild. But anyway, she called, and I understand that, but the issue is she talks about like this thing that she has with her mom, and her mom leaving her signs and stuff like through dimes. It's a whole story behind it. It was her grandmother was said to say that she's gonna leave nickels as signs and stuff that she's on the other side. So when she died, the mama would find nickels certain places at certain times in life or whatever, and was like, oh, that's grandma from the other side. Bobby is like, nah, stay away from stuff like that. But then she said when she died, she's like, I'm gonna do dimes. And so when her mom died, dimes and stuff, so she like, that's Mom, whatever, and I'm like, when I read that, because it's in her first book, when I read that, I started feeling crunchy. I'm like, dang, Tab, you was all right with me.
Good.
You praying in Jesus' name. You super positive. You ain't nothing. Nobody can say nothing negative. Wendy Williams tried to come at you sideways. You gracefully checked out. I was like, this Auntie, I'm proud of Auntie.
Right.
And I'm proud because I'm like, I think she a praying lady and she's very spiritual, but she a little too wild. Now, that doesn't mean that she's not a believer or whatever. That's another thing Bobby was saying. Doesn't mean that she's not.
She's got a little hybrid in her.
Yeah, you got a little hybrid in her. And we all do at some degree, but just some more than others. Yeah. And it's just a wild thing that we shouldn't be playing with that. From, like he said, the scripture, absent from the body is present with the Lord for the believer. It's like, and it's really, really for everyone, low key. But it's, you can't just be thinking that people can't jump from this dimension to the next dimension. They just dead, and then they showing up. Hey man, wake up! We got something to say to you. If you having them kind of experiences, 9 times out of 10, according to Scripture, you come in contact with someone demonic.
Man, we be wanting all them signs and wonders, man.
I don't know why they want it, bro.
I don't want.
You don't want that?
I don't want none. I want no
regular.
part.
I want regular ham sandwiches and hamburgers and hot dogs.
You don't want no spooky moments. You don't want no spooky encounters.
All in my movies. That's about as far as I
don't
want
even
to
watch
go.
scary movies.
I
bro.
don't either. I
You don't want no signs and wonders.
My wife and my daughter loves them. I don't even watch. I'm with you, Bookie. I don't even watch scary movies. But I'm just saying that's about as far as I want it to go on a TV screen. All that stuff and wanting that stuff in real life.
You know, I got a story. So, I have a great grandmother, right? And this is in Pittsburgh.
Oh man, this is
me and my brother. We was over at her crib with moms, and she lived on this street where. So, Pittsburgh, there's a lot of forestry, right?
Yeah.
So across the street from her house was like this forest area, you know.
Yeah.
And we sitting in her living room. Mind, she old. She like mixed with Native Americans, so she, she got that Native American look to her. And I mean, at the time, she like 90-something years old. You know what I'm saying? And so we sitting in the living room. She telling us stories, and then she's like, "Oh yeah," she said her son used to appear in the bushes across the street, like in the forest. Me and my brother looked at each other. We was like, and then my mom was like, "Oh, y'all want to spend the night? No, we'll spend the night here. What you mean? We are not trying to spend the night. You talking about dudes across the street in the bush? Nah, we good." It's like a cultural thing though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like where especially like those islanders. They heavy into the like witchcraft and all
wanting
that.
to see signs and wonders.
Remember, James, when we was out in Savannah?
Yeah.
And didn't that seem like that was a large part of their culture was spirituality and being visited? And every time this lady is talking about all these spirits that be around, I'd be like, man, according to the scriptures, man, you don't want to know what I think.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I don't. Typically, this is funny. I typically don't get into conversations about the demonic with people on no level.
About the demonic?
You just like me, bro.
on no level.
No level.
With nobody, with people with,
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't. As I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I usually don't. It's a topic, I avoid. Not so much. Oh, I think something go. It's just that, like, you would have to tell me a story like, I think I'm talking to people and all this blah blah. Then I would. But how often does that happen?
Yeah.
But you get to talking to black folks and everybody got a spiritual story, just like she was saying, hinted in that clip we played. She was like, black folks be like, yeah, so and so came to me and blah blah blah, even in a dream. I'm like, I'm not cool with any of that. When you're talking about dead people coming to talk to you, what could happen? I'll go the scientific route first. Our brain is doing all kind of things when we're sleeping.
Right.
So it's spitting
That
all
part.
kind of memories or something you could have been recently talking about or watching or whatever. So that could show up. So that's in the dream world. Now, I ain't gonna front. I think I've seen stuff like half sleep, but that could have been dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't seen nobody come and wake me up and tap me and be someone who had died. But at the same time, kind of along the lines of being a desperate hood person and a desperate poor person, if you're desperate spiritually
and want to see some stuff
and want to see somebody who done passed, then they know you're open to it. And then it's like no rewinding that. Like, how can I tell Tabitha, based on what I just shared with y'all, how could I go and then tell her
she didn't see what she saw, she didn't hear what she heard,
and it could be demonic, and it has a hold on you, and now it can show up in certain ways and guide some of your decisions, and your mama ain't got nothing to do with that.
That one is strong,
man. They so cold that they would do that. She would say I was crazy.
When I was younger, because in Pittsburgh we lived in the projects, right?
Yeah,
and so. The homie's name was I was maybe 10, 11 or something like that. And the homie's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go in the basement, we're gonna play this game. And I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, I'm down to play. What's going on? It was like, we're gonna play this Ouija board. and then I'm not knowing nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now with my Caucasian homeboys and you
already know how it's about to go.
I'm from the city. I'm from Compton, so I don't know nothing about no Ouija board. I never played. You know what I'm saying? None of this.
We're gonna try something.
They was
different.
like, oh, we gonna try something. We go down there. And so I was like, so what is? I'm thinking we about to go down and play some Monopoly or something like this. And then I'm like, what is a Ouija? And he's explaining to me as we walk into the crib down into the basement. And then he's telling me, oh yeah, my auntie, the board moved my auntie Cal. I made a U-turn going back up the steps. I was like, what? Y'all doing what? Who came? Oh no, I'm good.
That's making it happen. And there's so many stories of people talking about they played that and they could feel something, moving them. And I'm like, why?
I heard somebody say not too long ago, like, watch out for anybody that's talking to demons. Because you don't see a whole lot of that conversation in the scriptures. You don't see a whole lot of people talking to demons. You see Christ doing it, but you don't see a whole lot of anybody else just talking to a demon like, hey, you Beelzebub, come out of her, or whatever like that. Yeah. And I think E. Mace posted something the other day that he talked about. These are some things that we need to try to get rid of as a people, as spiritual Christians, trying to get rid of some of the stuff that's just not true. We need to get rid of some of this stuff. And one of them he put on there was high view of the demonic. A high view of demons. Like they got all this power. They got these soul ties for anybody that we slept with. Yeah. They got these generational curses. Our grandfathers done passed down us the spirit of divorce and all that type stuff. And he was saying like, we got to get rid of this high view of the demonic. It's not biblical. And they came at him so tough. They dragged him online about that. It was like, we like some of these other ones, but the way you discounting the demonic is going to be a problem. We can't get rid of that one. That one is true. And I was thinking like, man, we really want to be involved with these spirits and stuff. I don't want no part of it, fam. I want the simple, everyday Bible stuff to happen. Yeah. And somebody that I talked to said that like, you just immature in that area. God can't show you that part of the spirit realm because you just immature in that area. And I was like, well, I don't want anything past what the scriptures talk about. I'm cool.
Yeah, I've asked
I'll
God
stay where I'm
at some points, and I've gone back and forth. But I've just kind of asked if you don't need to show me any of that stuff, I'm good because I know you're able to. I'm still tripping off of the stuff that you made and that's here on the earth. I don't want to see the other realm, and I don't have a desire to see anything outside of what he would want me to see. I think we're going to spend an eternity tripping off of all the stuff God is really made of and the spiritual and all that.
Right.
So I can kind of save all that for that. Well, does God work in, ways where we, see spiritual things? Yep. That's why I'm talking about praying like, Lord, if I don't have to see that, because he can, according to, scriptures. And a lot of people have had, these kind of interactions, but I don't know. That's not.
I don't need that, and I'm just there, Lord. I'm like, okay,
that's what I'm saying.
God is my dad,
yeah,
and I'm a dad. I know how it feels. Like I want my kids to have everything that they need. I'm not wasting my kids' time on stuff that they don't need. So if that's my dad, if God is my dad, which I feel like he is, then I'm just going to wait for him to make that stuff important to me. I don't think it's important to me at all. I feel like there's definitely a devil. There's definitely demons. There's definitely a spirit realm. I respect all of that. But I'm not finna wait for somebody to come out the corners in the darkness. I'm not waiting for that. I don't feel like there's anything I need to focus on in that area.
With that, I will say this. With that, I don't think it's like that. We've turned it into that. But spiritual things showing up, out the darkness. I mean, it has a spooky element to it, but primarily I don't believe they just moving like that. It's just anything that keeps people from knowing God or getting to the gospel or getting around a real believer. Anything like that, they down to distort or delay that. Other than that,
Let me tell you who always bringing this stuff to the table. Is the pimping preachers. They the ones who always want to talk about how much demonic force you could be up against. And why do they do that? So you could keep coming back to them. I'm just sold that that's what it is. I feel like if they keep the fear tactics going, the fear mongering of like, Satan can do this to you if you sleep with somebody. You'll have soul ties. And then Satan can do that to you if your family was in drugs. You're going to be in that same generational curse. So come to me, buy my books, come to my service.
That's only working for people who ain't reading their Bible and studying.
Man, that stuff is working, Jay. That's what I'm saying. That stuff is working.
But my point is it's only working on a particular group of people. And it's working, and it's going to work on more people than it's not.
Yeah.
And my point is because the only thing that fixes that is healthy Bible teaching, and you understanding that all these things, all these authors have written these letters with certain intent, and you have to read it that way. Like all of that stuff was created for an audience, to an audience, and you're supposed to read it that way. Like if ain't nobody teaching you that and you're not going through that, you'll never get to the point where it'd be like, oh, you don't have to listen to everybody that call themselves a preacher. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll know that they false when they do X, Y, and Z. So you can look up and see if these people have done these certain things and be like, oh, you know what, low-key, I don't really have to listen to you. I can go ahead and cross you off the list.
Cross you off the list.
The book will help you it'll guide you to healthy people, what healthy spiritual folks look like or whatever. But
what book you talking about? The Bible?
Yes.
Oh.
But if I keep you from that and keep you growing, not from, truly spiritually growing, then I can run all that stuff that you're talking about. All that stuff only works for people who are not actually reading. And it's a whole bunch of people who call themselves church folks who are not studying. I remember being a part of congregations growing up in church or whatever, but being a part of congregations where the majority in this small storefront type joints, where it's like the most of the people are not bent on studying the word. You might have one or two people within this little 20 group people that really want to dig in, but the rest of these people that sit up in here, you could tell them anything. Girl, you gonna get a Lexus, or you gonna get a Camry, whichever one they think is a pro, and it's gonna work on that crowd.
Yeah.
You couldn't pull up to my church and work that because it's diverse, number one, and they got some of everything in the parking lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Started from the worst to the best. So you can't come up in here and like you want a new car, and it's like car that doesn't. It's only gonna work in a certain group of people.
If your leadership is solid, you're not gonna fall for the okie doke anyway.
You can't,
right?
And they're gonna tell you, like even today, during the service when the Pastor John was preaching, and we have a guy that comes in all the time that he went to college with, and he was saying that he called him out. He was like, my man is always in the word when I'm preaching. He's always looking down at the scripture, making sure that what I'm saying is the truth. And that's what we all need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? And which is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like if your pastor is preaching something that's not in the word, it's time for you to go. You cannot be making up you know what I'm saying, your own situations. And you know what I'm saying, interpreting the scriptures the way you want, you know what I'm saying, omitting and adding things. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, even what Paul was talking about, the Bereans, always in the word.
And he charged them to being more noble because they would take what he was saying and go back to see what he was saying was true.
Exactly. And that's what we need to do. We need to look at the scriptures, and because like you said, the Bible, it gives us instructions for everything.
Exactly.
Like, don't deal with these cats. If they're doing X, Y, and Z, don't deal with them. The Bible even tell you, don't fool with no mediums, don't fool with no sorcery.
Exactly.
It tell you that. So why you gonna go
deal with them?
Go deal with them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Oh, I would go see what my auntie Lulu said.
Exactly.
Where she leave the greens recipe. Bring her back. I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Stop it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to see E.T. What make you think I want to see? I don't want to see what's in Area 51. What make you think I want to go see somebody that died 12 years ago and tap me on my feet while I'm in the bed? Come on, man.
That was heavy for a minute. What y'all think about all that alien stuff? What you think? People heavy on that. You think that's some demon play or what? I think it's a little bit of that.
I think it's demon play, bro. I think it's demon play.
Or what if we find out this is some wild creatures we don't know nothing about?
They from Earth?
Nah, but they could be kind of smart though. Like all right.
Wild creatures from another planet?
Nah, that could just like live in space. They don't have to be from another planet. Can you rule out creatures from that could just live in that? Just like we got creatures living in water.
Man, that's crazy.
I never thought about that.
Intelligent creatures from another planet. That's wild. I don't see that being real.
Why not? Like they can live in a space atmosphere. It's
I'm just convinced it's demon play.
I do believe that, but humor me. A monkey is intelligent. I'm saying on that level.
Yeah.
I'm not talking sci-fi. Like, oh, it's way smarter than me. It has a supercomputer. It can move to the dimension. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just like something lives in water, something can live in space. God can't create something that can live in space. Well, we can't breathe in space. We can't breathe in water either. But the creature still that's in that atmosphere does.
They can breathe.
And they may just travel real fast. And you don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff the scriptures that say he made creatures in the heavens. Could that be included in the heavens? All right, then. All right. So now it's not all that crazy. And the only reason I say that is because, dude, when you go to the aquarium and you look at like creatures that's from the deep, they all got an alien vibe to them, bro. You can't lie.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
A lot of this stuff we've just exaggerated in movies and stuff, but it's just from us looking at creation and then being like, well, what if that octopus could walk on the land? Just like when we was in the 80s, you remember Ants, the movie Ants? Yeah. And it was a giant ants that said, I don't know what happened. Science went crazy on them. So, it could just be some creatures and some stuff, I don't know, that we don't know nothing about. And
so where they snatching people up and taking them and experimenting on them at?
It could be, think about
that's
it.
Wild.
Think about
them people swear that stuff happened.
I know, but that's some demon play. Or let's put our foil hats on. Or it could be some government play too.
That's where I was about to go.
You already.
That's Bill Gates and his homeboys and mixing stem cells from somewhere. And
niggas running around in invisible suits.
And do y'all remember them Lifetime infomercials back in the day where had the spooky music come on, and then be like, it was I think it was the Lifetime books or magazines where it was like, the aliens and all this other. It was an infomercial. You come on late at night.
What was they selling? DVDs?
It was like books or something at that. It was books at the time.
Books, bro.
And I was like, as soon as that music come on, I'd be like, click, click. I wasn't even trying to hear the music, bro. I wasn't even trying to hear the music. Wasn't trying to deal with that.
My voice said I was click, click.
I'm good. I'm good.
No, the reason I asked is just I don't know. It's weird. I think it could be a little bit of government play because a lot of the stuff that we were hearing recently was coming from our government saying, but then it was saying wishy-washy things that our guy, especially from the last ep, our guy Neil deGrasse was on them like they're not really saying anything. They find some something. I remember the term that the NASA dude was saying that they found. He's like, that doesn't really sound like you found a real alien. That could be anything.
How long do you think they've been trying to get unmanned warships right? Just the last 5 or 10 years? Nah. Them UFOs probably been flying around. They've been trying to figure them UFOs out for how many decades now? And probably what country wouldn't be trying to make something unmanned be able to kill somebody in another country?
Exactly.
So yeah, you see something flying through the air. I'm not shocked. We can go to the store right now and buy something that flies in the air,
dude, from miles away,
and records everything and does all kind of. You could buy a nice drone for $10,000. And that joint will do some real work. So if that's what they letting us have now,
exactly.
Imagine what they've been practicing with, what they've been experimenting with. Because who wouldn't want an unmanned drone be able to go somewhere and kill somebody without any threat of casualties? Of course you would want that. So I'm not shocked that people have been seeing stuff flying through the air. It's probably all kind of drone testing been going on for 50, 60 years. Absolutely. But I don't think that makes it an alien. I just think that makes it technology that they don't want to tell us that they're working on.
All right, that's our time.
All right, y'all. Love y'all. Glad y'all rocking with us. Hey, check me out on YouTube, James No Games. I'm on there talking about how we can be more believable believers. We reintroducing Christianity one conversation at a time. Check me out. I'm on YouTube and all the socials. James No Games.
Yo, it's Bookie, everybody's favorite cousin. Just out here trying to bridge the gap between the church and the trap. You heard?
My guy.
Yes. Check me out on IG, Bookie98, aka Chalky White. Yeah, on Threads also. Get at me.
All right, and we end like we started. Got a little energy. Raise your cups. I love y'all, and understand this: we all fall, but we say don't trip. We all been called, but all stall a bit. We all stand tall until that time we slip. Just admit, without the grace of God, I'm really bad at this.
Salute.